4 years ago, I had $47 in my bank account, and in the past 30 days, my brand has generated me over $400,000. My name is Zach, or ZZ Ecom, and I do ecom. This is a little bit of a different video than I normally make. I'm normally just on here dropping sauce for you guys, but I thought it was important to just share my story because I'm not a kid who came from like a dirt boat background or I didn't know where I was going to get my next meal or anything like that. I came from a very normal background. I had a normal childhood. I had good parents. I played sports in high school. So there wasn't any like sad story or sob story. I was a regular kid. And I feel like the regular kid isn't spoken about enough when it comes to like changing your life, being an entrepreneur, doing something different that's off the beaten path. So I felt pretty compelled to share with you guys my journey and how I literally went from a broke college kid to making over $400,000 every single month. So it all started when I was 16. As most 16-year-olds do, you want to like learn how to make money. You're interested in how this shit works. So I started watching tape videos, Emon videos. They were always popping up on my YouTube or on my TikTok. And I was super interested because I always heard Tate preach like, there's another route. The school system isn't the route. The school system's failing you. You're not going to make any money. And back then, when entrepreneurship wasn't like glorified, it was always kind of like felt embarrassing almost to try something new. I remember when I first opened my first ever Shopify store when I was 16 years old, when I finally got introduced into online money. I remember the second I did it, I didn't want to tell anybody about it. I didn't want to tell my parents. I didn't want to tell my sister. I didn't want to tell any of my friends because it was just something I wanted to keep to myself because I'm like, this is so like weird. Like nobody else is doing this. And even when I did open my first Shopify account, my mom, who had access to my bank account, could see all my transactions at that time, saw the transaction for the $1 Shopify charge, and she was asking me what I was doing. So I explained it to her and my dad about like what I was trying to do, how I was trying to make money online, this and that. And they're like, oh, just not right now. Don't waste your time. Like you're still young, you're still in school, you're gonna go to a good college after you get done with high school, and everything's gonna be good and your life's gonna be good. Just stay on this path that we took. It's already set for you. You're gonna have a perfect life if you just go that way. So I decided I just stopped there. I didn't ever pursue drop shipping back then, and I just kind of like quit for a little bit because I'm like, well, they're my parents. They probably know better, so I might as well just listen to them. So that was my first little introduction to entrepreneurship, just watching videos online, even opening up Shopify and even seeing what that was. So that was just kind of my first into it. Then fast forward a year later, now I've actually had a couple jobs already. I've saved up a little bit of money, but I realized I fucking hated the jobs. I kid you not, every single time I had a job, I quit because the boss would tell me to do something I didn't want to do, and then either the next day I would quit or I wouldn't show up to work a bunch of in a row, and then they'd be telling me, hey, you gotta start coming into work, or you're gonna get fired, and it was a never ending process. Throughout high school, I probably had like 7 jobs, and I only worked from when I was 16 till when I was 18. So basically, in a 2 year stretch, I had like 7 jobs. So I was in and out of jobs all the time, but when I was finally in my junior year of high school, I had like a couple grand saved up now. I wanted to start this entrepreneurship thing again. So again, I was looking online, I was looking at all the different business models, and then I saw Andrew Tate talking about how he had a program where he taught 21 different business models inside of his community, which was Hustlers University at the time. I don't know what it's called now. I don't know if he still runs it. He probably does, but I joined that and I ended up joining the copywriting program because I'm like, all right, ecom seems like there's so much moving parts to it. I don't know if I want to do ecom. It just seems like so much stuff. You have to have like money. You can get into copywriting for basically free. So I bought that course. I went through the course and it was just a bunch of mental masturbation for me, basically, right? I never ended up taking any action on any of the things I learned. And then I ended up just not pursuing it again. So now we're already 2 attempts in, not even really attempts, but we've tried something, we learned, or we didn't even try something, but we learned something, and then we stopped. So this was kind of the process for the first like 2 years of me even like kind of being more aware that online money was a thing, but I never ended up doing anything with it. So I again kept on going to school. I played baseball throughout high school, so I was thinking about going to college actually to play baseball. It was some smaller school in South Dakota, and then kind of towards the end of like of my baseball career, like this was more towards winter before I got into like the actual senior season because I used to play travel ball, and I really was starting to fall out of love with the game of baseball. Right, I didn't like it anymore. It was just it wasn't fun to me anymore. That spark that I had when I was a kid when I was playing baseball just wasn't there anymore. So I'm like, fuck it. I don't want to go to college for baseball. That was a whole talk I had to have with my dad, and it didn't go the greatest the first time I did it, but the second time I'm like, hey, I don't want to play baseball. He was all right with it. He's like, yeah, you can just make your decision. So boom, I'm like, all right, I'm not playing baseball. But now, where the fuck am I gonna go to college? Because that was my whole plan. My entire way up, I was like, all right, I'm gonna play baseball all the way throughout high school, and then I'm gonna go to college. I'm gonna play baseball, and that's where I'm gonna go to college. Whoever gives me an offer, so I'm gonna go there. But I never ended up playing baseball. So now I got to figure out where the fuck I want to go to college. But now getting back into online money starts to roll into my mind, right? I'm like, all right, well, this whole path that I was gonna take, it's not there anymore. So now I start looking into other options again. And this is like kind of after like the senior season of baseball. So that finished up. We actually had a crazy season. Like we were like seasonal section champions. Like when you just have we were like number one ranked team in state, but never end up going to the state tournament because we lost in our sections. But that's besides the point. That's kind of off topic of what I'm talking about. But we were nearing the summer, and I had my grad party. So I had my grad party, and I don't know if like a lot of you guys have this that are like outside of Minnesota, but like I grew up in Minnesota, so grad parties are a massive thing. And basically everybody comes and they just kind of give you money for going off to college. So I made a bag on that day. I'm not gonna lie, I made a bag, made like $3,000. So now I had some money, right? I was working a job, plus now I have this. I want to get back into online money because like I have a decent amount of money saved up now. So I'm looking again what business models. Oh yeah, I remember copywriting. I actually like that. Like it seemed like interesting. It seemed cool to do. So boom, who do I see when I'm scrolling on my For You page? I see Cardinal Mason, right? I see Cardinal Mason. You guys probably know him online. He's a big dude, but he's talking about this copywriting masterclass that he has coming up. So I'm like, cool, let me join this copywriting masterclass. I'm gonna learn more about copywriting and actually get into it. So I join it. I'm taking notes throughout the entire webinar, blah, blah, blah. He gets to the end. He pitches a course. All right, now if you really want to excel, come work with me. Come join my mentorship. So I'm like, at time, I'm like, all right, I have a lot of money. Like the mentorship was like $2,000 at the time, and I think I probably had like around $5,000. So I ended up buying the mentorship, and the second I bought the mentorship, I got a call from my mom. What the fuck did you just spend money on? Not a call, a text. What the fuck did you just spend $800 on? Because I took like it was like the three-way split payment, so it was a little bit more than 2,000. But she's like, what the fuck did you spend $800 on? And I'm like, I literally told her, I'm like, Mom, I'm going into the real world. Like, I gotta lock in. Like, this is my time. So I have to start grinding now. And I was just straight up delusional at the time. I had about 3 months until I was leaving to college, and I still really didn't know where I wanted to go to yet at the time. But I ended up figuring it out because copywriting, it never really ended up working for me. Like, the biggest struggle was I just couldn't do anything with cold outreach. I became a pretty good copywriter, which kind of translated when I started to do e-commerce, but I couldn't fucking get a client to save my life. So copywriting never worked out. So I'm like, fuck it. I got to go to college. This online money shit still hasn't worked yet. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to go to college. Where should I go? All right, I see one of my friends. He's going to a school in Arizona. I fucking hate Minnesota. I hate the cold. I hate the weather. I just don't want to be there anymore. Let me go to Arizona with my friend. And then I'm like, all right, he already has roommates. So that was a problem, right? He already has a bunch of roommates. Boom. I have another one of my friends, Jalen, which now actually is one of my business partners in a different business that's outside of my e-com stores. He's like, I don't want to go play football because he was going to go play college football. So I end up telling him like, hey, I'm going out to Arizona. Come with me. It'll be so much fun. All the Arizona shorties are hella bad. Let's go there. Let's just have fun. Boom. So we decide we're just going to go to school in Arizona. So boom. We go to school in Arizona. We land there our freshman year. We're having the fucking time of our life, partying like 3-4 times a week, just living the college life, right? But at the end of that first semester, I check my bank account. I look down. I see $47. I went into this year with around $4,000 in my bank account. I spent $4,000 in my in the first semester. I'm like, where the fuck did all my money go? So I was stressing because obviously $47, that ain't going to take you very far. So I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, all right, I got to do something. So I went back home for winter break, which is over Christmas time, and I started looking into e-com again, right? I was just at home. I had nothing really to do. So I was just looking into how to make money online. And in the first video I came across was Sebastian Georgiou. So he was a big e-com dude back in the day. I remember the exact video. It was just a montage of him when he was meeting a bunch of people up in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is actually kind of funny because now I like live in Arizona, and the next house that we're moving into in about a month from now is also in Scottsdale, so kind of full circle moment. But I saw that he was doing like a drop shipping challenge video, and I watched that all the way through. He showed his McLaren 720S that he had at the time was red, and I was like, damn, I gotta get into drop shipping. So I ended up starting watching his videos. I built out my first store when I was there. I launched some ads, and I launched like a fucking engagement campaign, like a fucking dumbass, bro. I thought I was gonna print because, dude, I had like 200 people on my website, all from Iowa, Council Bluff. Fucking moron. I was just being so stupid. But anyways, obviously that store didn't work out. I was actually LARPing to my friends at our New Year's party that I had 200 visitors on my fucking website. Nobody was buying though. It was all fucking fake people. But anyways, now I kind of understand. All right, ecom's fun. Like just because I got so many visitors on my store, I'm like, holy shit, I have so many visitors. I wanted that sale, and I was like, all right, I need to get the sale. I need to do something now. So I was working the entire time I was back from college for winter break, and now it's time to go back to college for the second semester of my freshman year, right? So I have I have like $1,000 saved up now because I worked when I was back home, and I was like, all right, I need to get in this drop shipping, but like I still don't know what I'm doing yet. So I went back on YouTube and I started watching more videos, and this is where I stumbled across Jordan Welsh, another massive name in the ecom space back in the day, and he just seemed super knowledgeable. He just like had exited one of his brands for like $2 million, and I was like, holy shit, this dude seems to know what he's doing. He had a course for like $47 a month, Viral Vault. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna join that. So I ended up joining Viral Vault. I actually learned a lot in there when I was getting my first start, and I ended up launching my first ever product, which was this dog like harness. I'd like it would wrap around your dog and it would prevent your dog from pulling. And so I launched this first ever like product test where I actually put it on a sales campaign. And this was TikTok ads at the time, so I wasn't even doing Meta yet. So this is TikTok ads. I launched this product, and the first day I make $150. I get my first ever sale. I even pop up a video of me recording my first ever sale in the dorm room. So that's just a little memory. But anyways, I got my first ever sale, and I was like, holy shit, this shit actually fucking works, bro. I was like actually mind blown. And then I kept on running this store for about another week, and then after a week I made around like $550 with this store. But me being just an inexperienced entrepreneur, I forgot to factor in COGS, I forgot to factor in actually spending money on ads, and I ended up being down around $300. So I was down around $300 on that product test. I tested a couple more products in the dorm room, and then after that was all said and done, I was back to being flat broke. So I'm like, fuck, all right, bet. Well, end of second semester, I'm going back home for the summer anyways. I'll just get a job. I'll just start working so I can start saving up some money again. So I ended up just like stop doing drop shipping for like 2 months because I was like, all right, I'm just gonna work a job when I get back home. So I ended up just working this job at a place called Patio Town, which was just something that helped you with like outdoor furniture, tiles, rocks, anything like that you need. Like I was just working on a yard outside all day. And I did that, and I actually saved up a good amount of money from that job to start what was my next venture. So again, now I'm like halfway through the summer, right? Halfway through the summer, I have a little bit of money saved up. And I was like, shoot, let me give this entrepreneurs thing another crack. And drop shipping specifically, because I like that. But this time I didn't want to go the paid ads route just because I thought the whole ad account thing was so fucking complicated at the start. If any of you guys are new in drop shipping, you guys know what I'm talking about. The first time you ever open an ad account, you're like, what the fuck's going on? But anyways, now I'm like looking on YouTube again, and I stumble across a dude called, sorry, I said a bug on my leg, but I stumbled across a guy named BSM Fredo, right? This young kid who was doing organic drop shipping. He was living out in Arizona. He was living at the super cool, or he wasn't even actually, I don't even think he moved out at this time. Like, this was like early Fredo. Like, I was one of the first people actually in his mentorship. We'll get into that in a second. But I saw him, and he was doing organic dropshipping. Oh, I'm like, oh, what's organic dropshipping? Oh, you just post videos of products on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and you just wait for them to blow up, send them to a Shopify store. Don't have to pay any money for ads. Perfect. This sounds really good. Sounds like something I want to do. So I start doing that. First two products do nothing. So I'm like, fuck it. He has a low ticket community. Let me buy this. It was like $60. So I bought it, joined it, watched through the course, learned a lot of stuff. Still tested 3 more products, nothing works. So I'm like, fuck it. Well, he has a one-on-one mentorship where I actually get to talk to him and then the other coaches that are inside his mentorship. I want this because I want the best. I've always been the person where like I'm gonna pay for that information. I don't care how much it fucking costs me. If I personally think that it's gonna get me to the next level and it's gonna help me reach my goals, I will gladly send somebody a couple $1,000s. Like over my course of my entire journey now, I've spent over 5 figures, well over 5 figures on info in my entire career. So info is so valuable, and that's one thing that I have learned throughout my entire career. If you do have the money to pay for info, I recommend paying for info because it will speed up your process tenfold. So I ended up buying that mentorship, and at the time, I only had like 3,000. It was like $3,200 in my bank account, and the mentorship was $4,000 at the time. And so obviously I couldn't pay for it because it was 4 bands, and I'm like, fuck. Well, what am I gonna do? Because I'm on the closing call with this dude right now, not on Fredo, but like a sales rep. I'm on the closing call, and I'm like, shit. Well, I don't have the money to pay. I'm like, so can I do like a split payment or something like that? He's like, yeah, we can go 2K up front and then 2K after the first month. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll do that. So I put up the 2K, and immediately when I got after that call, the first thing I did, I hopped in my car and I fucking went door dashing because I'm like, I don't have the rest of the money to pay for this, and my account balance is gonna go negative if I can't pay for this. So I started door dashing, and then that's where my real hustle grind journey begins. So now I'm actually starting to get into this. And this is really where I start taking this shit serious. Like, this is where the grind of my journey actually fucking begins. So now for the rest of that summer, I'm grinding. I'm posting for products. Nothing's really hitting. I remember I got a couple sales throughout the summer, like nothing really crazy. A couple products did okay and organic, but like nothing insane. Like nothing where like it'd be worth telling anybody about. So still made no money. So I'm like, fuck it. Well, I have to go back to college because it's like, I don't have enough money to just fucking drop out and just quit college, so I might as well, so I have to go back. But I don't even want to go to school. But anyways, I go back to Arizona for what was going to be my sophomore year. I never ended up going to classes, so I just completely said fuck that. I barely went to any classes, and I started really diving into organic dropshipping. I went at this so hard. For the first 2 months, 3 months that I was back in Arizona, didn't really see any progress. Nothing was really hitting. I wasn't going viral on anything. I wasn't making any money. And I'm telling you, this was some dark fucking days because now after, I forgot to even tell you guys, like after my freshman year, like I had like a 2.2 GPA in college. And if you have that low of a GPA, and I didn't go to some like top 20 college. I didn't go to an Ivy League or anything like that. So it's not like I was going to get a good job out of college. So I'm already thinking in my head, like, I'm fucked. Like, I have to make some shit happen. I have a shit GPA. Nobody's going to fucking hire me. And this is even before, like, AI is as good as it is now. So, like, I didn't even know that, like, it was going to get to a point where, like, every job was going to be replaced by fucking AI. So I'm like, well, what the fuck am I going to do? So I'm like, all right, I just got to go all in. I have to make this happen. So this was really dark days for me because not only was I losing money because I still had to order the product to my house, I had to support myself and not fucking go homeless. So I was doing that, just grinding my ass off, really fucking dark days. But eventually, 3 months into it, or a little after like 3 months, I hit my first product that actually made some sales. Right? I was selling these like candle like Harry Potter sticks, and I would like film it. I don't know if I have any videos from that, I'll throw it up on here of like me doing my organic shit, but I'll just throw that shit up on here. So I think it's pretty funny. But that was the first ever product that made me a little bit of money. So now I'm starting to see proof of concept, right? All right, cool. I blew up this product. I actually got a decent amount of views with it. Boom, I can make some shit happen. Now after that, I had a little bit of a dry streak. I didn't really make money the next month, but literally the month after, I hit my first ever organic winner. It was these Pokemon rugs where like it had like the card on them, and you would like drop them down. So I had another bug on my leg, but you would like drop them down, and this is where I finally started making a little bit of money because I started posting for this product, and within the first 6 videos, I got my first video that hit 1 million views. So it was my first 1 million view video in organic dropshipping, and that day I literally made $1,000 in an organic. $1,000 because like you don't pay for ads or anything. I was running like 75% margin, so I made around like $700 that day. So I was freaking the fuck out, and I remember the exact moment when I hit $1,000. I was literally sitting in the gym parking lot, literally refreshing my phone, and then I got that order that put me over and put me at $1,000 in sales on the day. And dude, I was an emotional ass. I was sitting in the car by myself, no music, no sound, nothing on. And I was just like, We finna make it. Like this was like the like we're gonna make it moment. Like the first sale is one of the best feelings ever, but your first 1K day, that's where you really get the like I'm going to make this shit work moment. Like you know that you can make this shit work. So I hit my first 1K day, boom, everything's going great. I keep on making good money with that product, good money, good money, good money, and then boom, I get a strike on my Shopify store for a DMCA because it was literally a one-to-one Pokemon wrong other card. So that thing was trademarked.
Daydream. I fell asleep amid the flowers.
I didn't really know about trademarks. I didn't know about DMCAs. I didn't know about any of that. I was a fucking noob. So I didn't know about any of that. I literally tried to fucking keep on running the product, and I got another warning. I was like, all right, I should probably fucking shut this shit down before something bad happens. So I ended up having to kill my first running product that I thought I was gonna make it out with. I did make a good amount of money from that, but it was nothing crazy, right? I probably made like 20K off that product in revenue for organic. So it was a decent amount of bread. I was starting to build up my account a little bit. Now I see this trend, right? So this is now finally where I get my big breakthrough in organic, and I actually make my first like real amount of money. I start touching real money. I see this trend of these blankets going just fed on the internet. People like dropping them. They're using grandma stitches, all that bullshit. And I'm like, nobody's running Pokemon blankets. I have a Pokemon Instagram and a Pokemon TikTok and a Pokemon YouTube that all has a good amount of following now. I'm just gonna make these blankets and then post for the Pokemon community. So boom, I end up cooking up some blanket designs on Canva and I throw them up, and boom, literally within the first 4 days, I start going crazy, right?
It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Oh, you're my best friend.
I start hitting 1K days, 2K days, 2K days, 2K days. And then boom, I get a video that blows the fuck up. It gets like 4.6 million views. And on that day, I make 6.5 thousand fucking dollars, bro. I was ecstatic, dude. Like, I literally recorded it. Like, it's on my YouTube. If you go way back, I think it's the video I said it. Like, it was like POV, you make 50K in a month as a dropshipper or something like that. It was a really, really old vlog. But anyways, boom, I finally get my first breakthrough. And then I start to just run this product up, right? I make around $50,000 with this product. And I'm like, shit, I am fucking balling. But then me as just like the like overthinker, thinking about my future, thinking about what I want to do. Like, I want to become a fucking millionaire. Like, I want to get really rich. I literally have a video archived in my YouTube right now when I was talking about I'm quitting organic to go into paid ads. I posted it. It was up for like a day, and then I'm like, fuck it, shit, I'm gonna delete because I thought it was cringy. But anyways, I'm like, fuck, all right. I'm seeing all these people. They're now I'm like kind of opening up. I'm kind of actually seeing the e-com scene, and I'm seeing the rest of the people in it. So I'm seeing all these people who are running meta ads, right? They're hitting $1 million months. They're hitting 100K days. I'm like, holy fuck! Like, there's a different side to this, like where people are making way more money. And then I see all these people talking about, yeah, if you do organic, you'll never be able to make $1 million. You'll never be able to like be a millionaire. You'll never be able to build a real brand and actually sell it for millions of dollars. And I'm like, yeah, that makes 100% sense. Like, I was doing this like just like bullshit. I was like filming these retarded ass TikToks. Like, it just made so much sense to me that like that wasn't gonna make me a millionaire. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me start getting to meta ads. I have a decent amount of money in that right now. I'm not gonna say I have a lot of money because like in retrospect, like if you only have like 50K, like really isn't that much money. To some people it is. Like, so grateful for the position I'm in. Like, I don't. All right, whatever. Besides the point, but I earn like $50,000. So I'm like, fuck it. Let me get into paid ads. I have a lot of money to work with. I actually have money to spend on ads now. I get into paid ads. First three products don't really do anything. I'm just learning. I'm learning. And then boom, my fourth product that I test ends up fucking ripping and ends up taking off. I was selling these mosquito patch products at the time because I knew back in my hometown, back in Minnesota, mosquitoes were a terrible problem. Whenever I go out to my cabin, whenever I'd be at a bonfire at night, I'd be getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. So obviously these are a good problem, and they're for kids, and they're like DEET free and all this shit, right? So I'm like, perfect. I'm gonna sell this product. Boom, I end up launching it first day, 1K day, off the rip on a $150 a day budget. So I'm at like a fucking 8 ROAS day one, and I just end up surf scaling the fuck out of this brand, and I end up making my first $100,000 in a month with a brand, and that's revenue. So it's around 30K in profit. So I'm making good money, and this is my first ever winner on paid ads. Eventually, it died out because this product was very seasonal. So eventually, it died out, and I really still didn't know what I was doing at the time. Like I had a pretty good idea of what I was doing, but I still wasn't the greatest. But anyways, that product ends up dying out. I tested a couple more products that like they do a decent amount of revenue, like nothing crazy, nothing that actually really took off, but like I'm making like a little bit of money here and there, here and there. And then summer kind of rolls around. It's early summer, boom. I hit my second winning product, right? Now I'm running this bookkeeper product that you can put pictures of your kids in. Boom, this product absolutely starts printing. Moms are loving it. It's a perfect product to sell on, literally the perfect product to sell on Facebook for Facebook moms. This product ends up printing, taking off. I scale this one super, super aggressively. Boom, boom, boom. And then I run into an issue with chargebacks because the product quality was fucking shit. And this was a big lesson that I learned. I'm so glad I learned this earlier in my career before I started making a lot of money with brands down the road, as I'll talk about when we get into more of like me actually starting to make a lot of money. I run into this problem. I start realizing, all right, product quality actually fucking matters, because I looked back and I'm like, oh shit, like it looked like I made this much money, but I only made this much money because I got so many fucking chargebacks. But still ended up profiting a good amount on that brand. Again, a second winner that actually took off and made me a good amount of money. All right, so now I'm kind of moving into like my next stage of life. Like I'm posting a bunch of content on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok. I'm starting to just kind of become like an underground like e-com info. I mean, I still am. Like I don't even know what I'm saying. Like I'm fucking up now. But anyways, fucking I started posting a bunch. I'm just talking about my journey, like what I'm doing, giving people tips and tricks, hoping it will like actually help them. But then eventually I move into my apartment that I was just in, that you guys used to see, the high-rise apartment. So I'm making a good amount of money. I move into my first high-rise apartment. I'm at my I made it moment, right? Boom. I'm at my I made it moment, and I'm like, shit, bro, I fucking made it. But then this is where everything changed, because this is where I finally got my first breakthrough. I don't know if it was because I was in a high rise, I was living with all my boys now, I was being like an entrepreneur, living that lifestyle. But boom, literally within the first couple of weeks of me moving in there, I launched this new product, which ended up becoming my main brand that I was running for like the past 8 months now. And this product took the fuck off. Within the first 21 days of it, I made like $41,000 and I hit 100K a month, like 40% profit margin. So I was fucking just absolutely ripping. And this is the first time like I'm making this money consistently, month over month over a month. I'm hitting 40K a month, 40K a month, 50K a month. And I like dropped on to 30K a month. It was kind of like up and down, but I just kind of stayed in that range, right? So I'm making good money for now like 4 months in a row. And boom, all right, I finally fucking made it, right? The weight is lifted off my shoulders. And when I tell you, this is probably like one of the best experiences you guys will come through in your dropshipping journey when you finally hit your massive breakthrough. Like you'll have small wins. Like I had small wins on my way up, like that kept me going. Obviously I had really bad fails and I had like dark ass moments, but I finally hit my first win, and boom, I was actually starting to make a lot of money. After 3 years just 3 years of this in the making, 3 years of me building up this skill through even doing copywriting. Now that I look back at it, like it all went into like the business model I ended up actually doing, which is e-com. And boom, so I'm doing that. I'm running that product up for a while. I ran it up in Q4. I ran like a couple other products in Q4 that are more seasonal pump and dumps. Absolutely printed during Q4. I did really good in January, February, and then I slowed down a little bit in March. So March, which is actually recently, I had a little bit of a slow month for like what I normally make, at least like with my e-commerce business, because my main brand was starting to die off a little bit. I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do. I'm like, holy shit, like I literally can't revive this brand. Like I have to descale my ad account like every single day. I'm not making as much money as I want. So then boom, I finally find this product I'm super, super passionate about, and I end up launching it. And that's this brand that I'm running right now. So I launch it. I filmed all the videos on my YouTube about me talking about all this, but I filmed all of it, and boom, this brand ends up taking off. And right now, this is the brand that's doing 400K a month right now for me. The brand's around like 61 days old, and the first month we did around $250,000, and then the second month we did around $400,000, and right now we're almost at $700,000 in revenue. I'll actually pull up the dashboard for you boys so we're not no guru shit, even though I always post this shit all the time. I have to edit that part out, but if you guys can see that, boom, 673K right now in the past like 62 days, 61 days, but boom, another big breakthrough. And then this now is like my passion brand, and this is what I'm going for. So just to kind of recap, like it's gonna be hard. You're gonna go through all the struggles like I did too. Like I really don't want you guys to think like people like me or other big ecom dudes that you see in the space. Like we all went through the same journey. Like we all went through the same pain. We all had the same sleepless nights, right? Where we're stressing about making money. We're stressing about just what our life was gonna look like in the next year, next 2 years, where we were gonna live. Like, oh, all these people out there are winning. Like, trust me, bro. When I was fucking not making any money, I saw all these fucking kids printing who were so retarded. I'm like, these kids are retarded. Like, you probably look at me and you're like, this dude's a fucking dumbass. And somehow he's making $672 in 62 days. Like, what the fuck? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, this kid's retarded. He's no smarter than I am. And true, I'm no smarter than you, but I have time in the game now. I spent 3 years doing ecom and then an extra year with copywriting, kind of mixing that all together to finally be able to craft this skill where I'm ecom to make money from this. So the journey is going to be long, right? And I want you guys to know that. When you get into any online business, whether that's ecom or whether that's any other business model, do not expect to make money fast. It literally took me so long to finally build up a skill to make this consistent. Like, you will have little wins. And even if you don't have little wins, like, don't feel like you're behind. Don't feel like you're failing. Like, just make sure you're learning from everything that you're doing, right? I just want to let all of you guys know, like, you don't have to come from this crazy, just tragic story background, or you don't have to come from some father who's insanely balling, right? You can be a normal kid just like me, and you can make it, right? So that's just the message that I hope that I can leave with all you guys, is that as long as you try hard every single day, eventually you are going to hit it big and you are going to make money with whatever you choose to do. So don't give up. Make sure to chase your dreams. Hopefully my story was somewhat inspiring to some of you guys who maybe just had more of a normal upbringing. You didn't really have anything like traumatic in your life. You just knew you needed to make a change and you knew you wanted to chase something greater. So yeah, boys, that's my story, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.